seeing movement, we're going in the dark, see. Trying to be fully alert, aware of whatever is going on in the present now. Trying to stay with any particular object, but moving between the senses. Wherever is predominant, that's what we notice. Seems most of us, we are ready. Is there somebody outside? Yes, feel free to come in and join us. The monastics are here already. The monks also on this occasion would like to express our appreciation for your generosity and kindness, and also offering of food. We do our Anapana chanting. One who gives food to another,
gives to the other 5 things too: long life, strength, happiness, beauty, and intelligence as the 5th. The wise life giver, strength giver, beauty giver, wit giver, wise giver of happiness, attains happiness. Having given life, strength, and beauty, happiness and wit, one is long-lived and glorious, wherever one is reborn. For one who often pays homage and always respects elders, 4 things increase: long life, beauty, happiness, and strength. Felicitous is bodily Dhamma, verbal Dhamma is felicitous. Felicitous is mental Dhamma, then aspiring for felicity. Having done the felicitous, they get felicitous rewards. They are happy who get such rewards, and grow in the Buddha Sasana. May you all be healthy and happy, together with all your relatives.
So this reflection just now, the meditation highlights the importance and value of generosity, both for oneself, and also, can we get the speaker a bit closer? Just cut out the quick. Yeah. We got that. Speak better. Get up and it's better. Is it better now? Can you understand clearly?
Yeah.
Usually it's actually after a pause. And then I start, the first syllable is often missing because it has a noise gate. But let's see how it goes. So having established our mind in virtue first, we are undertaking the 5 trainings, the 5 precepts. And then we move on to the activity of offering food to the monastics. This, of course, is another wholesome activity that strengthens our various commitments, and particularly our punya on this occasion. The Buddha often highlights the importance of generosity. However, generosity does not have to be limited only to monastics. Often, very good Buddhists, they're very generous whenever they go to the monastery. But when we see a poor person on the roadside, or children in need, oh no, they wouldn't give. Why? Because they're not the highest form of merit, or not the highest field of merit. But I don't think we have to be so calculative when it comes to generosity. Because yes, we can give to the Sangha, to the monastics, but it doesn't mean we cannot also feed the pigeons. No, I cannot feed the pigeons anymore because they are not the highest field of merit. That is just for their own good, for the sake of kindness, for the kind of support. But then, for most of us, we have enough resources. And then even if we don't, generosity does not have to be about anbao or money. Generosity also includes service, giving a hand. So like now you've been moving here into a new home, so new neighbors around. So every now and then you might need help, sometimes the others might need help. So one form of generosity is giving service, giving help. If you see somebody carrying something heavy, or needing help is cutting the grass, or whatever it is, you can offer my help on this occasion. It's also a very good way of fostering friendship, isn't it? When we support each other, help out, whether it's materially or in service, it's very easy to make friends in this way. So the Buddha highlights often the importance of generosity. Yes, it's a practice of letting go of one's own resources, whether it's money or even more importantly, time nowadays. Particularly here in Taiping or all over Malaysia, I think, nowadays most people are quite okay, financially speaking, but very busy. In the Buddhist society, we notice very clearly when we do one needs a fundraising for a project, people are very generous. They give very happily. But if we need volunteers for a project, somebody to come and help out, everybody disappearing. Very hard to find people to physically have time and come out day after day for this or that project. Of course, we do have also, it's not that there's nobody, but it's definitely more difficult. Whereas just giving resources, money, contributions, many people prefer. But as you also know from Buddhist societies, not only here in Taiping, also PAPS, in KL, VGF, and other places, often we need actually help, service, more than just another 100 ringgit in our bank accounts. We need both in the end. So yeah, kindness, generosity does not have to stop as just the material side, but also can extend beyond that and include also giving a hand, giving service, giving time for others. That's the second important pillar of our building that we're building here. So it's the foundation of virtue, and then we build on top of that with generosity. Buddha also mentioned that very important for a householder, now really have become a householder, the owner of a house. That's actually how the body word also has it, a householder. As a householder, also one of the blessings of being a householder, is having resources, and also sharing the resources with family and friends. And also the sense of blamelessness if our livelihood is a right livelihood. If our livelihood does not depend on causing harm to others, you can say. In the ancient time, these were things like occupations like selling weapons, drugs, and but then nowadays also there could be other ways of livelihood that could be similar to that. Yeah, drugs, drug trafficking. Anyone here? Drug trafficking? You don't dare to say, I understand. So yeah, if our livelihood is based on right livelihood, then that gives rise to a sense of avipattisara. Avipattisara means blamelessness. It's the sense of I'm not harming anyone. It's like at the end of the day when you look in the mirror, the person you see in the mirror, oh, I'm okay with him. I don't feel ashamed of myself looking in the mirror. Because I know, no, I've not been trying to harm anyone. Not even mosquitoes, not even ants, not to speak of larger beings. But a sense of blamelessness when we maintain our sila, our virtue, when we are generous. That nobody can rightfully accuse us of overstepping our ethical boundaries. It's a very nice feeling when we recollect that. Sense of blamelessness, yeah. Wherever we can go upright. We don't have to conceal, I hope they don't find out this about me or that about me. Let them know whatever it is. Nothing to conceal, nothing to hide. Very nice, it's a very nice feeling. It gives confidence. Whatever group we join, whether in KL, Taiping, among the monastics, among the devotees, in the workplace, in the family, can be transparent, open. So nice. Now, Kuttala Nikaya, in 11.1 and 2, the suttas of the Buddha says, based on that virtue, and that on that virtue, it's natural, it's like a law of nature. Dhamma means it's a law of nature that blamelessness arises. Now for a mind is blameless, it is natural that gladness arises. Because I'm happy about my conduct, I can be glad about it. But for moksha, it's also natural, it leads to even to piti, to joy, tranquility, and happiness. Now comes a very interesting thing for those of you who also meditate from time to time. Who meditates from time to time? Even the monks. Who meditates from time to time? Okay. Time to time doesn't have to be every day. Once a year is also from time to time, no? Because that link, sukha, leads to what? Sukha is the precursor to samadhi. Happiness is the precondition, the precursor to samadhi, to composure or concentration, how it's often translated. Many people try to get samadhi, sit down, close the eyes, watch out the breath, focus very strongly, but the mind is going all over the place. Sometimes you go into a meditation hall and look at the faces, everyone very grim face, meditating away. No surprise that not much samadhi can come out of that if the mind is serene and not happy, not joyful. Whereas we can see in the sutras, from gladness comes rapture, happiness, and samadhi, very natural. It's a law of nature. Same also when we have pain, for example, in meditation. Of course, sooner or later, when we sit or stand or even lie down for long enough, it becomes uncomfortable. But then, being in meditation, when we want to develop samadhi, is not so easy. Why? Pain, the Pali word for pain, what is it? Sukha or dukkha? Dukkha. But sukha is the precursor for samadhi, not dukkha is the opposite. Dukkha makes it more difficult to develop samadhi. I'm not saying impossible, but more difficult. So that's why when in your meditation, if you want to develop samadhi also along the lines, it might be helpful to not have too much pain. Or if after a while a little bit of pain arises, why not? First we can just ignore it. Okay, a bit of pain in the knees, or maybe the hips, or the shoulder. That's okay, come back to your meditation object. Okay, then a little bit later, again you notice, oh, It's quite uncomfortable already. But then, okay, let me come back to the meditation object. But there comes a point where the pain is so predominant that it constantly pulls your attention away from the meditation object towards the pain itself. And yes, maybe with some endurance and patience, you could endure for another 10-15 minutes just sitting there and grinding away. But most likely, in terms of samadhi, not much will come out of it. Then it's more endurance practice. So at the time when the pain is so predominant, feel free to adjust the posture a little bit. Maybe taking it behind one leg, or adjusting the posture, just stretching it a little bit. And then you might get another 15, 20, 25 minutes of quite okay meditation. I know meditators who, when they for the first time entered deep states of samadhi, it was after a previous period that became a bit uncomfortable, and then having adjusted their posture, and then the pain goes away. Oh, dukkha goes away, feels quite nice. And then the mind already has some samadhi from before because they've been building it up, even from the earlier period. So the pain goes away, the samadhi is still here, and then suddenly you have all the factors that you might need for really good meditation. So you don't have to force yourself until you cannot bear it anymore. Tears are coming down the cheeks, and only then you change your posture. That is not necessary. So, one way of introducing that joy in the practice, happiness, is through virtue. That is a sense of non-remorse, non-regret, from which naturally gladness and the other factors spring forth. Living here in a new house, in a new building, of course it looks quite nice, I have to say. Quite beautiful. Externally, at least, very nice. But then, hopefully, for long-term, comfortable abiding, pleasant abiding, the externals can support that. But even more important is, how does it look inside? How does it look inside our own mind? Because even the most beautiful environment, we were quite peaceful inside. But if it's not peaceful inside, I won't enjoy it. Therefore, important also to cultivate the mind. One of the most important factors of having a peaceful living situation. No, I'm not going to say samadhi or even mindfulness. Of course, they're also good. But even before that is, how do we get along with each other? Within the family, with the neighbors, with the people to whom we meet on a regular basis. Are we living in harmony? That is actually very important if you want to have a pleasant living anywhere. Whether it's in KL, in Taiping, in Australia, Canada, Austria, Japan. If we don't get along with our family members and those whom we meet and see every day, we won't feel comfortable. Even the place might be very nice, we don't feel at ease. One of the important factors that leads to harmony is communication, right speech. Particularly earlier we already spoken about the value of generosity, but also kindness, truthfulness. Using speech that is useful, beneficial, that leads to harmony, that does not divide others, and particularly avoiding words that are very harsh, very hurtful, intangibly painful. If you can maintain those principles, that is a very important foundation for harmony. And with harmony comes well-being. Some people I've heard who get quite good job offers on their workplace. But there are some cases, but of course usually another company pays you more money, you will make a move, right? But there are cases where people feel so well, so comfortable in their current job environment, in their team, with their co-workers, with their superiors, so that they don't even want to go at a paid job. They will not take the offer, even though the other job pays much better. I don't want it. I don't need it. Thank you. Why not? Because we understand the value that well-being, harmony has on our subjective sense of how we feel. Well, the money doesn't help us much to be happy if I live in an environment where there's constant competition, or quarrels, or disputes. So by focusing on harmony, that contributes much more to our sense of well-being than many of the external things after whom we chase. I was just thinking back of my own time as a laborer back in Austria. I had a good friend when we worked together side by side. I had my office, he had his office next to mine. And he earned a lot of money. He was very successful in his career, financial advising, working with banks, insurance companies, and so on. And he did a very good job. And constantly, every year, he buy a new car. Every year, the car becomes better and better. Sports cars, and living quite a nice lifestyle. But knowing him a bit closer, he was not happy inside. He was constantly chasing after something, never satisfied. He got a new car, he was already thinking the catalog for the next year car. The same for the house, apartment. I lived very simply even back in the days. But yeah, when I did okay. But then I was not so keen constantly getting the latest gadgets, this and that. And I would not have wanted to change my life with his life. His life was so stressful, having to work from early morning until late at night. But then, yeah, a little bit more money in your bank account. How much does it really contribute to our well-being? What is the currency? What is the currency of the mind? What is the currency of the heart? Is it money, Malaysian ringgit, or is it the US dollar? What is the currency? Happiness. I think happiness is the actual currency. Because what we really want is to be happy, contented, satisfied, feeling good, feeling pleasant. And money, a career, even health, family, these are things which we think, of which we believe they will make us happy. But what we really want is happiness. But we assume, oh yeah, I need a decent amount of money to be happy. I need a good career, good status, success, health. Now all these things, yes, they can contribute to some degree. I'm not saying they don't matter at all. They do. But much less than we think. Myself and also many of the monks here have lived in Sri Lanka, in Burma, in Thailand, which are objectively speaking not so well-to-do countries, economically speaking. In Myanmar, you see many people just living in a simple bamboo hut, just 3 walls open in front, having nothing, just a little few crackers to eat, some bananas, a bit of rice. But then, if you look at faces of the people, they look quite happy. And if you speak with them, they also seem happy. After 8 years as a monk, I visited for the first time Austria, when I visited my family. Went back to Austria, and there was even not even home yet. I was driving the train for a short while, and I looked around me, wow, so many green faces, everyone glued to their phone. That was also very different from before I became a monk. And then also, everybody seemed to be very stressed. The speed at which everything happens, the speed at which everyone walks. And then you can see in their face the lines, the reflections of our stressful lifestyle. Yes, materially speaking, they are quite well to do. But if you compare that with the people with whom I lived for 5, 6, 7 years in Myanmar and in Thailand later, I'm not so sure, I'm not so convinced that people in the West or highly developed countries are much happier or at all happier compared to places that lack many of the basic resources which we take for granted. Health, good healthcare, good education, political systems, free speech. Myanmar, you say the wrong thing, you're gone for a long time or forever. Depends. So many of those things which we would think are important, some people don't have. Yet, if you ask them or if you were to measure their happiness level, it doesn't seem to have a major effect. Of course, they would wish to have the same luxuries that others have, but they don't suffer on a day-to-day because of these externals. This is what I came to realize. We put in so much work, time, effort into things that contribute only a little bit to our inner well-being, the currency of the heart, to happiness, and suffering, of course. So if really what we want, what we all want, it seems, is happiness and avoiding of suffering, then we should reflect from time to time. Are the actions that we do, to what degree, to what level, do they contribute to that? Or are they kind of irrelevant for that? One of the things that also find surprising is often when I felt the most happy was actually not when I got something special or when I got something for myself. It's often when I was trying or able to contribute or help somebody else. It can be helping a small kid to do something, or to show him something how to ride a bicycle, or maybe an adult, you show him something how to play a music instrument, or teach a language, whatever the person seems to value. But the sense of giving, the sense of sharing resources, again, can be material, can be immaterial. That seems somehow to be ordered by evolution, that we feel good. Doing good feels good. In Malaysia, do you celebrate Christmas? Do you celebrate Christmas here? Yeah? Oh, you celebrate Christmas, but also the Malay holidays also you celebrate, right? The Indian holidays also? Of course, the Chinese holidays. Christmas, at least in the West, very typically the parents and grandparents, they will give gifts to their children and to the grandchildren. Particularly for the small ones, they will pack it up in small parcels under the Christmas tree, or different countries with different cultures, or the hide things in the socks. Then Santa Claus also becomes and delivers all those things, and then the children will unpack those things and see what they get. At one time, when I was already a bit older, my 20s, I was observing that whole ceremony a little bit. I was observing that my grandmother was giving and handing over the parcels to grandchildren, to the small kids, like 5 years, 7 years old, so to get some toys usually. For the play family with the house, the play house, or for boys they play with cars or whatever toys they want. So I was observing a little bit when my grandmother was giving out the parcels, and you see the kids unpacking and looking inside. And yes, indeed, the boy or the girl, my nephew or my niece, yeah, they're quite happy. But then I looked up to the grandmother. Wow. The happiness I saw on her face was actually more than what I saw on the kid's face. I was surprised, I was astonished. And I realized, giving can be more enjoyable than receiving. I thought getting the nice things must be nice, must be good. Yes, maybe it is also. But sometimes the joy of giving, of contributing, of supporting, that feels much nicer. And it's a more long-lasting happiness. You can come back, think back about it. Next week, next month, about our own deeds of kindness, generosity, love, and service. That fills the heart with joy, not only the time you get something nice, But then also, whenever we recollect, we have this person, that person. So it's another thing when you move from one place to the other place, it's a very easy way of making friends, supporting each other, helping out, being of service. And of course, in our Buddhist communities, we practice that quite a lot. And many of us have developed that quality very well already. So this is also the kind of thing that people will, maybe at the end of their life, when we ask them, what are the kind of things that you regret? What are the kind of things that you're really happy about? We ask about their regrets. Rarely anyone will say, I want to have more money on my bank account. Have you met anyone who says, I regret not having more money on my bank account? Very rarely this will happen. Normally people will say, I don't know, I regret not having had enough time for my kids when they were small. Not enough time maybe for my parents when they were old. Not enough time to be with them when they would have needed me the most. These are usually the kind of stories we hear. And also on the flip side, when we ask, what are the kind of things you're really proud about, that fills you with joy? Again, people will not say, yeah, when I was 23, I bought myself a sports car. It doesn't matter. If you forget about that, that would never come to mind. But you will remember having helped a friend who was in a really deep crisis, having helped him out, having supported him. Maybe he moved even into your house for half a year because he had a drug problem or whatever it is. Then supported that person at that time. Or the children you've raised, and now they're adults, they can look after themselves. These are the kind of things we're proud about, for good reason. So that's why also in our daily lives, we spend so much time for things that, I don't know, may not contribute so much to our actual well-being and happiness. Often not even in the present moment, and particularly not on the long run. So what would you think? What would you think are the kind of things that you would look back later in your life that you would be happy about? I'm curious, what are the kind of things that might come to mind that you have done sometime during this life? Or you, or maybe a family member, what would they remember? What would you say? How many houses we have? How many cars? How many of you have children? Children? Grown-up children already? Okay. So this is probably one of the things you may remember, right? Children grown up, they're healthy, they can look after themselves. That's an accomplishment. Maybe even the time we have spent in Dhamma practice, the generosity that we've given to our Buddhist societies, supporting the various activities, supporting the Sangha, events like today, supporting other people in our environment. These are the kind of things we remember. So yeah, that's why again and again I want to emphasize the importance of spending our time on a daily basis for those things that really matter the most, and maybe reducing the time for things that don't really contribute much on our long-term happiness. If you're really honest and check in with ourselves, how much do I spend a day contributing, sharing, helping others? And how much time do I spend on social media, YouTube, Facebook, or whatever other platforms are modern these days? To compare these two times, if we would have a stopwatch. Every time you go on your phone, check. Every time you stop, 3 hours later, check. Then compare that with the time we spent for helping, supporting Dhamma practice, reading the suttas, meditating, things that actually contribute to our well-being and that of others. And I'm not even saying it has to be 50-50 or to only this. No, it's okay to be. But then also, if now the proportion is 90%, I spend things that are not contributing much, and only 10% I do what I myself truly value, but I only do 10% of that. So maybe I want to bring it up a little bit, to restore some kind of balance there. Okay, I think that's all for my Dhamma sharing for the day. I wish you all the best in this new, very nice and fantastic building. How many stories are there? One. Here's the ground floor. There's a staircase and one more upper floor.
Yeah.
Two more.
No, one more.
One more top. For the children. You're planning to have more children? Not for now.
This one is for the Dhamma sharing holiday house.
Dhamma sharing holiday house. Okay, so when you come over the weekend,
Yes,
then
yes.
having Dhamma groups here, Dhamma discussion, very good.
So all my friends from PJ come here to stay overnight here.
Okay.
To make this Dana a success. And my friends all from Taipei to help us to do.
I heard in the bus you always have to book a hotel here or all around in Taipei.
Yeah.
And then half of the time there's no free because during Changpeng or Chinese New Year and the main holidays it's all fully booked.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, then what do you do if everything fully booked? You buy yourself a house. It's an easy solution, right? Why not?
Because my wife is from Taipei.
Yeah, okay. They're called Taipeiites. Actually, many people then as we grow older, retirement age, they come back to Taipei eventually. Because nice environment, also fast lifestyle, more healthy, good air quality. Okay. So we'll see you only on the weekend or also during the weekdays sometimes?
Yeah.
Once a month we come down.
Whenever we come down, we will do Dana in teams.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
I think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. But more often I see you at pubs.
No, BGF.
BGF these days, yeah. Maybe on this occasion, the monks will also do a short recitation of the words of the Buddha. Yes. We do after the chanting. A recitation of the words of the Buddha, which are reminders about the importance of loving kindness. This is the most important quality, especially for living together in a home, in harmony. And then also about the impermanence of all conditioned phenomena. And also then subsequently we can do later the sharing of merit with all beings. So before that, I invite the monks, let us recite together.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dharaniyamatha kusalena yantam santam param abhisamecca sakko ujuca sujuca suvaco cassamuduvalatimani santussako ca sukaro ca appakicco ca sallahuka buddhi santindriyo ca nipako ca appakabho kulesu ananukiddo nacakuddham samacare kinciyena vinyo pare upavadeyum sukino vakemino hontu sabbe satta bhavantu sukino ขิตัตตาเยเกจิปานะพุรัตติกัสสาวะทาวราวาอนาปสิสาติกาวาเยมหันตาวามัชฌิมารัสสกานุกตุระติทาวาเยจปฏิทาเยจตุเรวสันติอวิดุเรภูตาวาสัมภเวสีวาสัพเพสัตตาภวันตุสุขิตัตตาปโรปรังภิกขุเยตนาติมันเยตกัตตชินังคิญชิยาโรสนาปฏิยกสัญญานัญญมัญญัสสตุขมิจเชยมาตายตานิยัมพุทธังอายุสาเอกพุทธมนุรักเขเอวัมปิสัพพะพุทเทสุมาณสัมภาวะเยอภริมาณังเมตตัญชะสัพพะโลกัสมิมาณสัมภาวะเยอภริมาณังพุทธังอโลจติริยัญชะสัมปารังอเวรังอสัพพัตถังติทังชรังนิสินโนวาสยาโนวายาวตัสสะวิกตมิตโตเอตังสติงอริเทยพรหมเมตังวิหารังอิดามาหุริทิงชานุปกัมมสีลวาตัสสะเมนะสัมปันโนคาเวสุวิเนยเกตัมนะหิจาตุคัพพะเสยังปุณเรติอิติปิโสภะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิชชาจารณสัมปันโนสุขโตโลกวิทูอนุตตโรปุริสธัมมสารติสัทธาเทวมนุสสานังพุทโธภะคะวะอิสวากขาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมสันติติโกอาการิโกเอหิปัสสิโกโอปัญญิโกปัจฉัตตังเวทิตาโพวินยูหิติสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอุจุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆญาณปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสามีจิปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆยะยิดังจัตตาริปุริสยุคานิอัตตาปุริสปุกขะลาเอสะภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอาหุเนโยอาหุเนโยทักขิเนโยอัญจลิกรณีโยอนุตตรังปุญญเกตังโลกัสสาติภวตุสัพพะมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพะเทวตาสัพพะพุทธานุภาเวนะสดาสุขีภวันตุเตภวตุสัพพะมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพะเทวตาสัพพะธัมมานุภาเวนะสดาสุขีภวันตุเตภวตุสัพพะมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพะเทวตาสัพพะสังฆานุภาเวนะสดาสุขีภวันตุเต
ข
Bante.
Have a seat.
Morning,
Okay,
Bante.
morning.
And we are blessed to Bante to come to my house for this auspicious day for the Dhamma, to make this a success. And first and foremost, I must thank Sister Leiyun and the company to help us to arrange all the transport and the drinks and everything down here. And my friends from PJ and Penang come here to stay overnight here to help me to make this Dhamma a success. We are very grateful for Bante and all these members to come to this house here. On behalf of all the members, thank Bante for this to come to our house for the Dhamma. And in the meantime, we will like to offer some deposit for the Sangha in the SPS. So everybody will put after me. Bante, we deposit this money in the SBS Sangha Daya Ka Fund to provide what is allowable when there is a need. Any resident monk of SBS may inform the Sangha Procurement Officer. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Alhamdulillah. So I rejoice in your merit
Yeah.
and your generosity, and also hope that this house will be used for a lot of Dhamma activities, having the Dhamma friends over
Yeah.
from all over the world. And it's also good to have you back in Taiping.
Yeah.
Hopefully see you also more often in teams and SPX. Okay, maybe on this occasion we can do also a sharing of merit if you like.
Yeah.
Actually, you have a choice. Either you keep all the merit for yourself,
No.
you can, it's up to you. Or we invite all the other relatives, friends, all beings to share merit.
Yeah.
Okay,
Share the
second.
merits with all the
Okay, okay.
friends and helpers and all the volunteers. Yeah.
In this case, let us recite together. Idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idam no nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idam mo nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Ettavaka Chahamhedi Sampadam Punya Sampadam Sabbe Satta Anumodantu Sabba Sampatti Siddhya. And lastly, let us also make an aspiration so that all the good karma we've accumulated will also support us on the path to liberation towards the Dhamma. Please repeat after me.